Hey everyone, welcome back to a series on basics of programming using Python for data science. If you are an absolute beginner or someone who wants to brush up their skills in Python for data science, you have come to the right place. I am Saurav Agarwal, you are watching Datahat. In this video, we shall learn everything that you need in order to use for loops in Python. We shall see how to iterate over collections such as list, tuple, string, dictionary. We shall see the use of range function and how we can create sequences using the range function. Additionally, we shall write a complete program using for loop in Python to understand how nested for loops work. Before that, we need to quickly understand the basic syntax of for loop. So a for loop appears something like this. You have the keyword for, then you give a variable name which is the iterator variable in sequence. Your sequence could be anything such as list, string, tuple or dictionary, and we specify the body of the loop. Now, what is the for loop by definition? A for loop is a control structure, a control flow structure. We talked of control flow, the if-else statements in another video, the link to which can be found in the I button above. Check that video after watching this. It is a powerful and versatile tool for iterating over collections of data. Okay, so a for loop is a powerful and versatile tool for iterating over collections of data. It is a control structure. Now, this particular statement is important from your interview perspectives in MCQs. So make sure to keep a note of this. Now, heading over to our actual programming using for loop, we saw the basic syntax of the for loop. I have already created certain data structures in order to smooth and fasten the task. I have created a list, tuple, string, dictionary. If you haven't watched the video on how to create these data structures and how to generate these data structures, check the video in the I link above after watching this video. Now quickly let us get started. I have created a for loop for x is my variable name, in sequence. My sequence is L1, which is the list here. Okay, it contains values 3, 4, 1, 67 and 8. I'm printing this sequence. Let us see what would be the output of this. I will quickly run it in my terminal and see the output comes as 3, 4, 1, 67 and 8 in the sequence that is already present in our list, right? Similarly, you can create a for loop for your tuple. Instead of L1, I can give T1. Now T1 contains different values, A, 4, and this also contains a nested tuple inside it. I will quickly save this and rerun this entire thing. Okay, so you see the values are now getting printed. Now quickly we shall see something very interesting here. So pay complete attention. We shall iterate over our string. See, here we have created two strings. The first string S1 contains only one word hello. The second string S2 contains multiple words, right? How are you? Let me comment this out. For S in S1, print S. Let's see the magic, what happens. So it is printing each character one at a time, HELLO. Now what if I change this to S2? For S in S2, print S. Let me comment this out and also let me clear the screen using clear command. Oops. Yeah, let's execute it now. So you see each character is now getting printed. How, with space included. How are you? Right? Each of these characters are iterated over one by one. What if you want to iterate over words instead of each characters? So for that, we learned something known as a split function. Within the split function, I will give space as my splitter or the word or the character that I'm using to split. Let's see what happens. The magic. Now the magic, see, instead of printing each character at a time, it prints each word at a time. Why? Because when you do s2 dot split, see what happens within s2 dot split. It creates a sequence which contains the words. See, this is the sequence that is generated when you call the split function, right? So this is the incredible magic of for loops, and it makes it very intuitive to use for loops in Python. Now we shall see how to iterate over dictionary in for loop, right? Using for loop. So a dictionary, let me print the dictionary and show you how it appears, right? A dictionary contains a key value pair. It contains a key and correspondingly each key contains a value. See, this is our dictionary. It contains three keys. Name is Ravi, age is 21, profile is student. Now I want to iterate over each of these individual elements, right? So using for loop, how can I do that? I will do for key comma val. Now key comma val are my variables, right? In d1 dot items, when I call d1 dot items, each of these pairs would be treated as an individual tuple, right? So each of these would be treated as an individual tuple, and then I can iterate it over as a sequence. So when I print now key comma val, see what will happen. See, I'm getting the name key. Key is my name, right? Here key is age, here key is profile. So each of these keys are being generated and their corresponding values are also being generated. Now instead of this, if what if I only do for x in d1, right? I am not creating a sequence of tuples, right? I don't want to create items. I just want to see what happens here. Or let me make it more clear by adding a new line here in between. Okay, I will clear the screen, re-execute it. So if you see in the second case, it is only printing my keys. Now in order to get the values corresponding to these keys, I have to do I have to do d1 of x and see what happens. See, it is now again printing the key value pairs. In the first case, you directly get the key value pairs. In the second case, you get the keys, and from those keys, you are calling the values corresponding to those keys. So this is how you use a list, tuple, string, and dictionary and iterate over them using for loops in Python. Now we are going to learn something interesting using the range function, how we can generate sequences using the range function in Python. So a range function in Python is used to create sequence of numbers, right? You provide a starting point, you provide an ending point, and you provide the step. Let me show you what happens, right? Let me create a range R1. R1 is equals to range. My starting point will be 0, my ending point would be 4, and my jump would be 2. What are the values that get printed here? Okay, I will create another range R2. The range would start from say 3 and I will go up to 10 and the step would be 1, right? I will again print this R2, and before that I also print a new line in order to make them more readable, right? Just so that if you're watching in a smaller screen, you are able to clearly distinguish between them, right? That is why. Let me execute them. Sorry, the range iterator is generated, right? The range iterator is generated. How do we iterate over them now? In order to iterate over them, for x in R1 print x, and here for x in R2 print x. Let's clear the screen. You see, the first case we have only two values printed, 0 and 2, because we are starting from 0. 0 is included, the jump is 2. So jump is 2 means it will add 2 to it. So 0 plus 2 is 2, we get 2. Now when it becomes 2, then 2 plus 2 is 4. But 4 cannot be included because 4 is our stopping point, right? That is why we only have 0 and 2. In the second case, we start from 3, go up till 10. This 10 is exclusive, it is not included, right? The stopping point is not included in the range. So it will go from 3 to 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is how you create sequences. Now also one thing, the default value of step is 1. So if this step is 1, you do not even need to specify this. You can simply ignore this up, remove this, right? Even this would work and give the same result. Let me show you that as well. Okay, I'll comment this up. However, if the step is anything other than 1, other than the default, then you need to specify it. You see the same value is printed 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The additional spaces that you are seeing here is because of the new line characters that I have introduced in order to make them readable, right? So you now understand the magic of range functions as well. Now, as promised, we are going to write a complete program using for loop and see how nested for loops work in Python. So what is our program? What is our question? The question is to write a program in Python to generate odd numbers between 10 and 30, right? This is the first part. And the second part of the same program is based on the value of each x that you get on iteration, the each odd number, print as many number of stars, right? The program is very simple, but I want all of you to pause here, take a break and apply and solve this problem. Let me know in the comments if you are able to successfully run and solve this problem. If not, don't worry, we'll learn it. And after learning, you go back and solve it and then let me know if you are able to successfully complete it, right? Now let us quickly head over to the solution. Now we are going to use the range function in order to generate the numbers. So you know we need to generate odd numbers and 10 is not an odd number. So what I will do, the next odd number is 11. I will start from 11, go up till 30 and take a jump of 2 because odd numbers occur at a jump of 2. 11, 13, 15, 17, 19 and so on, right? So this would make it very simple. I will print x. Let's see the results on the screen. The numbers are generated as 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 23 and so on and so forth. Now what you need to know, you do not, as part of the second part of this program, you need to print as many number of stars as you see the value itself. So for 11 you need to print 11 stars. So what I will do, I will print a star, I will give a star and then multiply it by x. This is an incredible magical function in Python. If you just multiply a string or a character with any integral number, it will duplicate it as many times. So for example, here star will be duplicated 11 times. Now, because we see these numbers are very large and within the scope of this view, right, this could go beyond this range and we won't be able to count it simply. What I will do, I will divide this by 3, okay, to make it simple. So 11 divided by 3, and also see here I am doing a floor division, so it will be the lowest integer, right, nearest integer. So 11 divided by 3 will give me 3, right? Let's see and execute this program. And before we that, and you see the number of stars are getting printed as 3 stars, 4 stars, 5, 5, 6 and so on and so forth, right? So now you see how the incredible magic of for loops work in Python, how we can iterate over collections, we can generate numbers using range, and we can work with nested for loops. Now, but here we haven't worked with nested for loops. We use the magical function here. What if you want to nest over this? Let us quickly see the nesting as well. We have these x generators in the range of 11 to 30 as odd numbers. Now for each of these x, we shall create a nested range. This range will start from 0 and we have divided by 3 to keep our things simpler, right? Not to shorten it. You do not need to do it in the actual program, right? Now I am printing star for each j, right? J is the inner nested value for the x. For example, if x is 3, if x equal to 3, so j will run from 0 all the way up till 3. 3 will be exclusive, 3 will not be included. So 0, 1 and 2, and it will print a star. And when we talked of input output, I told the end character in the print statement. If you do not specify this end character, it will move to the new line and you will not get these stars in the same line, right? So that is why we have to include the end as any other character other than the new line character. And then once I complete this inner nested for loop, I then move to the new line using a simple print. Let me execute this and show you how it appears. So you see the same star pattern is generated based on our magical function, the multiplicative star, and now using the nested for loop. So hope you learned something new in this lecture. If you like the lecture, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. See you in the next lecture. Share it with your friends. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.